everyone, it's Soraya aka ZZ, and I just made and printed out a story that I'm going to be reading today. Make sure to let me know what you think of it in the comments. Okay, so this story is called Zena and the Mirror. So this story is about a girl who unknowingly buys an evil mirror. Let me introduce you to Zena Williams, your average, or used to be average, 11-year-old girl. She has beautiful golden brown skin, luxurious coily hair that grows up toward the sun, and a warm, inviting smile that could make your day. After the thing that happened, she hardly ever smiles anymore, but we're getting off track. Zena's tall for her age, but she doesn't mind. She'd rather be the tallest girl in her class than be called a shorty doo-wop every day by the most popular girls and boys at school, like poor Annie Myers. Zena's an only child and is grateful she gets all the attention from her parents. Well, she used to. They did such fun things together. Zena had loved singing, watching shows, and crafting with her mother. She had just begun learning how to carve wood with her father. But now, things are going unbelievably awful in the Williams house. Each day feels like a burden on everyone's shoulders. I suppose it's time I finally tell you what happened to Zena. Alright, let's get started if you're ready. It was June 2nd, Zena's 11th birthday. She was so excited she had barely gotten any sleep that night. She arose with that charming warm smile on her face and a song in her heart. Zena hopped out of bed and entered the living room to the smell of pancakes, sausages, and orange juice, and beamed at the sight of her mother in the kitchen fixing their plates and her father turning on her favorite show. When Zena's mother, Abigail, spotted Zena, she skipped over to her and engulfed her in a hug. "Happy birthday, sweetie," she exclaimed. James, Zena's father, joined in on the hug. "Happy birthday, Z," he said with a big smile. Right now, it's 8 p.m. and I'm chillaxing on my bed. Birthday breakfast was so delicious, Zena wrote in her diary. It was my favorite, pancakes and sausages. Zena's mouth watered just thinking about it. She continued to write, "Mom took me to Target for a shopping spree while Dad picked up some Corenas for us. I had so..." Zena's phone pinged, then pinged again. Then it vibrated. She picked up her phone and saw happy birthday messages from her friends and that her Auntie May was calling her. She answered the call. "Hi, Auntie May," she said with a smile. Her favorite aunt was calling her on her special day. "Hey, Zizi, happy birthday. How's your birthday going?" "It's going awesome." Zena told her aunt all about her day. "Oh, darling, I can hear you smiling through the phone. It sounds like you had so much fun. Abigail, your ma, told me she and your daddy have a special dinner planned for you." Zena could barely contain her excitement. "OMG, really?" She was hopping up and down on her bed. "Yes, can't wait for you to see what it is. Well, I have to go now, darling. I love you." "Love you too," Zena said, then hung up and texted her friends for a while. Zena's parents were preparing dinner in the kitchen, and Zena was just getting out of the shower. She dried herself with her brand new super soft towel that she purchased during her shopping spree, then put on her new birthday pajamas. Zena sat on her bed, fluffed up her pillows, and collapsed on them, then saw a glint of light on her dresser. "Oh yeah, I forgot I bought that," Zena thought. It was a small and holdable mirror with a gold sparkly border that she just had to get. It was unlike any other mirror she ever saw. When she had gotten in the car with her parents, she saw a sticker on the mirror with a strange warning on it that said, "Warning, use at your own risk. We are not responsible for any harm caused by this mirror." Zena had thought it was a prank, that maybe someone made that sticker and stuck it on the mirror just to scare customers. She tried not to worry about it. As Zena held the extravagant mirror in her hand, she wondered, how much harm could a small mirror like this possibly cause? 30 minutes later, Zena was laying on her bed, staring up at the ceiling, still thinking about that sticker. What? Why? How? She was having trouble organizing her thoughts. Suddenly, her stomach grumbled and she chuckled in spite of herself. Zena heard the clattering of plates, and a few moments later her parents shouted, "Zena, sweetie, dinner's ready." Zena jumped out of bed and rushed into the dining room. Instantly, an aroma of tomato sauce and avocados flowed into her nose. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. On their long dining table were many plates, all of them having appetizing foods on them waiting to be eaten. On one plate was a huge serving of saucy spaghetti, creamy avocados, and fresh, delicious lettuce with a big glass of juice next to the plate, surely for her father. In front of two other chairs were two smaller servings of the same meal made for Zena and her mother. Another plate had seconds of avocados, the plate next to it with seconds of warm spaghetti, and the last plate with more lettuce. Wait, that wasn't the last plate. The last plate was the most special plate, with words on it that said "Happy Birthday." On the plate was Zena's most favorite dessert, a chocolate loaf with chocolate chips inside and vanilla frosting smeared on top. Zena was just about to thank her parents when, all of a sudden, she felt a sudden push on her back, and the impact of it caused her to fall hard on the cold floor. Then a weird sensation came over her, as if something that had been on in her body for a very long time had gotten clicked off. Zena felt herself getting up, but she also felt like she was being held still. She couldn't explain it. Her parents stared at her, both confused and concerned. "Zena, are you okay?" Abigail said with such a small frown, Zena didn't know if it was even there. "Yeah, I just tripped," Zena heard herself say. She didn't plan to speak, and yet she did. Or did she? "Okay, well, come on and sit down so we can eat," Zena's mother said, smiling again. Zena said. "What am I doing?" she thought. "I want to sit down and eat." She tried very hard to move, but it felt like she was glued to the floor. "What is this garbage?" her parents gasped. "What?" "I said, what is this garbage? You really think I'd eat this?" Abigail and James exchanged a look. Her father spoke up first. "Sit down, eat, now." "Dad, this is gross. Just looking at it makes me feel..." "Now." Zena's father gave her the look. Zena felt herself roll her eyes and slam herself into the chair. "What's happening to me?" she thought. "I didn't do or say any of those things." Supper time turned out to be terrible. Zena ended up breaking her plate. After just 5 bites, she made a gagging sound and pushed her plate across the table a little too hard. Before her parents could catch it, the plate shattered on the floor. Of course, she had to clean it up, then her parents sent her straight to bed. Before she went in her room, Zena turned around to say she was sorry, but all that came out of her mouth was her tongue, which she stuck out at her mother and father. Her eyes widened as she slapped her hands over her mouth. "Go to your room now. You're grounded for as long as we want you to be," Zena's mother said strictly, but when Zena looked at her, she saw tears streaming down her cheeks. Zena slammed her door and collapsed on her bed, and before long she was crying too. Zena woke up at midnight, but she wasn't fully awake. She rubbed her eyes and drearily looked around her room. She froze when she caught a glimpse of her small, sparkly mirror, which had red and black mist flowing out of it. As she looked closer, she saw that the mist was moving toward her. She bit back a scream as the mist seeped into her chest. A few seconds later, it reappeared and returned to the mirror, but moments before it retreated inside, Zena saw that the mist was carrying something. A very small, strangely shaped creature with glowing eyes that were staring right back at her. Its mouth formed a sly grin, then right before it entered the mirror, it said in a raspy voice,
"I'll be back soon."
So that was the terrible and awful thing that happened to Zena. Unfortunately, the mirror she bought was possessed with an evil spirit. If an evil spirit lives in a mirror, that means as soon as you look into the mirror, they immediately have full control over your body and can make you do whatever they want you to do whenever they want. Also, if you're wondering why the sticker that said, "We are not responsible for any harm caused by this mirror," and "Use at your own risk," was on the mirror, here's why. The creators of the mirror were very frustrated while making it and wanted to be done with it as soon as possible. They had forgotten that evil spirits love negative energy, and mirrors naturally absorb the energy of its creator, which is why the wicked spirits live in mirrors that have negative energy inside. When they finally finished, the workers realized their grave mistake. They wanted to avoid getting sued, so the group hastily made a sticker with a warning on it. They purposely lied by saying they weren't responsible for any harm caused by the mirror, when it was actually 100% their fault. But luckily, spirits can only control a person for 3 years, which means that when exactly 3 years after Zena first looked into the mirror have passed, then Zena and the mirror will be free of that strangely shaped demon spirit. Thank you everyone for listening to my story, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it and let me know what you think of it in the comments. Oh, and if you see a mirror in a store that has a sticker on it that says use at your own risk, be sure not to buy it.